Welcome, TTI family. Today, we're diving into a world of bamboo, boughs, and some impressively satisfying Japanese joinery techniques courtesy of our wood wizard, Wooden Ren. Grab your popcorn, sit back, and prepare for the lamination sensation as he turns bamboo woods into a weapon worthy of Robin Hood himself. Bows and arrows have been around forever, like really forever. Some of the earliest ones popped up in Africa about 70,000 years ago, and the oldest intact bows, found in Europe, are around 8,000 to 10,000 years old. Back in the day, everyone from the Egyptians to the Mongols used them in battle, especially those terrifying mounted archers. So, how does one make a bow out of bamboo, you ask? Well, it all begins with some good old laminating. Nope, not your school report. We're talking about gluing thin strips of bamboo together like some sort of woodworking lasagna. Once they're glued, these strips get sealed with resin, making them a solid, beautiful piece of bow material. Don't worry, you won't get a soggy middle like Aunt Karen's casseroles. This process is airtight. A quick fun fact, bamboo isn't even wood, it's grass. That's right, he's basically making a deadly, stylish lawn mower accessory. Most bamboo used for these projects comes from a species called moso, imported from Asia. And guess what? This stuff grows like your hair after a bad haircut, fast and resilient. It regrows after being harvested, so it's basically the gift that keeps on giving. Bonus points for sustainability. Now, Wooden Ren doesn't stop at just any flimsy connection. He's crafting a mortise and tenon joint, which is basically the Lego of woodworking. It's strong, stable, and will hold his bamboo bow together like a boss. It's flexible too, which is key because a bow needs to bend like a yoga instructor without snapping like, well, your patience during yoga. But before continuing, let's give a round of applause to the man himself. Wooden Ren, This guy's got over a decade of experience in woodworking, which means he's probably forgotten more about wood than most of us will ever learn. His YouTube channel is a treasure trove of wooden wisdom. He's built everything from traditional Asian bows to things you didn't even know you needed. Seriously, go check him out. And tell him TTI sent you, because why not? But archery wasn't just about war. It was also a serious sport. One of the oldest recorded archery competitions is the Pekingo shoot, started in 1483 by the Ancient Society of Kill-Winning Archers. Instead of aiming at a regular target, you try to hit a fake bird perched way up high. And yep, people still do it today. Of course, bows were just as important for hunting as they were for fighting. Indigenous groups across North America, the Arctic, and Africa used them for both. The Japanese took it to another level, crafting giant 8-foot-long wooden bows, and even making smaller ones from horn and whalebone. Nowadays, bows and arrows aren't exactly standard military gear, but they have made rare appearances in modern special forces operations. Stealthy, silent, and just plain cool. Here's where things get really interesting. Like any master woodworker, Ren knows that adaptability is key. When the tenon needed a little extra strength, he swapped it out for a metal piece. It's like upgrading your bike with rocket boosters, practical and awesome. With just a few more confident whacks, we mean professional strikes, the body of the bow is finished. Next, wooden Ren moves on to the bowstring. Forget the olden days of sinew and animal intestines, unless you're planning on making this a prehistoric adventure. Instead, Ren goes for the modern choice, Decron B50, a waxed polyester string that's tougher than a buffalo steak but thinner than your patience when trying to untangle Christmas lights. This stuff is the gold standard, about the thickness of dental floss, but way more useful in an archery contest. With the bowstring cranked up to full tension, tight enough to make a guitar jealous, wooden Ren is ready for the ultimate test. He draws it back, eyes focused, and lets the arrow fly. The bow flexes like a pro gymnast, and the arrow zips through the air like it's late for an appointment. Smooth, powerful, and dangerously satisfying, mission accomplished. The bow is done and dusted, so naturally, wooden wren is moving on to the next crucial step, crafting arrows. But not just any arrows. These are made from Arundinaria amabilis, a fancy-sounding bamboo species that's been used for thousands of years. Why? Because it's basically the Chuck Norris of bamboo, tougher than carbon and aluminum, with an attitude to match. Next, the haft. That's the part of the arrow that makes it an arrow and not just a sharp toothpick. It's the long section that gives the arrow its glide and keeps it airborne. No haft, no flying. Simple as that. Imagine this. Modern arrows, especially those shot from compound bows, can zoom out at about 150 miles per hour, and sometimes even hit 200 miles per hour. That's more than twice the top speed of a cheetah, which maxes out at around 70 miles per hour. This insane speed not only gives arrows an incredible range and piercing power, but also makes them super hard to catch if you're trying to dodge one. Now, arrows are a bit more complex than just pointy sticks. They have 4 parts, and each one's got its own material demands. First up, we've got the arrowhead, the business end of the operation. Whether you're piercing targets or, hunting, this is what is the damage. And here's a fun tidbit for archery fans. Some enthusiasts even call themselves toxophilists, which is just a fancy Greek way of saying lovers of the bow. Back in the day, if an arrow missed its target or broke during battle, soldiers would often collect and repurpose it, sometimes even cutting it down into shorter arrows for a quick resupply on the front lines. Now, the knock is where the magic happens. It's the bit that connects the arrow to the bowstring. Think of it like the handshake between bow and arrow. Most knocks today are made of plastic, but hey, if you're feeling extra rustic, you can make one out of bamboo too. Just don't ask your dentist to make it from your old toothbrush. Now, if you've ever seen an arrow split another arrow that's already stuck in the target, you've witnessed what archers call a Robin Hood moment, a nod to the legendary archer's famed skill. It's one of those rare, jaw-dropping feats that really highlights just how precise archery can be. And finally, we've got the fletching. also known as the feathers or, in some cases, the plastic wannabe feathers called vanes. Fletching controls the arrow's flight, making sure it doesn't fly like a drunk seagull. You can use real feathers if you're feeling medieval, or go with the more modern plastic versions if you're into convenience. Your budget and personal flair will determine which ones you choose, but just make sure they match your bow. Nothing says rookie archer like mismatched gear. Traditionally, arrows were made from woods like willow, oak, cedar, ash, and of course, bamboo. These days, though, folks lean more toward cedar, fir, and hickory for their modern masterpieces. But arrows aren't just about warfare or hunting. They've become universal symbols too. Think about it. The simple arrow shape shows up on signs to point you in the right direction. And even in math, arrows help indicate movement or change. In some cultures, a broken arrow symbolizes peace, while crossed arrows can stand for friendship. Once Wooden Wren finishes crafting these arrows, all that's left is the ultimate test, firing them. If they fly true, then congratulations! You've just made a deadly piece of art out of glorified grass. If not, well, there's always next time. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to check out Wooden Wren's channel. Hit the like button, because let's be honest, you're probably going to want more of this bamboo brilliance.